Hello, beginning facts. Today I'm going to teach you how to make egg rolls. If you paid attention to what I videoed before, there are a couple of extra things here that aren't normally in the recipe, but these are how I like to make the egg rolls for my family. And since my family's going to be eating these, I'm going to make them my way. So there'll be extra little add-ins and we'll talk about them. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to start by dicing our onion. We want to make sure that these diced onion pieces are as small as we can possibly get because we do not want to taste onion. We are also going to be making our own coleslaw mix, but you can purchase that at the grocery store if you would like to. I just find that it's way cheaper to do coleslaw with a head of cabbage and a carrot. I spend less than $1 doing that, whereas I would spend up to $2 for a bag of cabbage. I'm gonna wash my head of cabbage and I'll take that top leaf off just because if anybody's touching it, that's what they're touching. And I've got oodles of cabbage here. I'll go ahead and cut it in half. And I need to take the core out. That's an interesting core. That's one of the smallest cores I've ever seen. But we'll go ahead and take that out. We're gonna dice this up into little teeny tiny pieces. Everything in an egg roll, you want it to be small because you don't want to taste cabbage, you don't want to taste carrots, you don't want to taste celery, you don't want to taste onions. You want the combination to make that delicious egg roll flavor. I've got my cabbage all cut up, nice little teeny tiny pieces, and we'll put that in the bowl with the onions, and then we will grate our carrot. Peel it first, so we don't want those peels in. So I'll take my hand peeler and I'll peel my carrot. And when I'm all finished peeling it, I'll wash it. I can't believe Robin's not here begging for carrots. That's her favorite thing in the whole wide world. She's usually pretty good about when she hears that carrot peeler going, that she's right here at my feet. I've got my trusty salad shooter out to grate up my carrots, so we'll get that done really quick. The last prep work I have over here is to dice up some celery. I want those nice and small. So I'm going to cut up, and it says I want 1 celery stalk. I had already cut these up for a veggie tray that I had used earlier, and so I've got probably about 6-7 pieces of celery here that I'm going to use and dice up nice and small. So the celery is going to go in. And then I have got a cup of bean sprouts. Now, understand that all of these ingredients make it up, but if you don't want to go out and buy bean sprouts for this, that's totally fine. You can use just what you have. If you have some coleslaw mix, or if you have cabbage and carrots, those are the 2 main ingredients that you really can't do without. We definitely don't want to do without the onions, but again, if you were asking my husband, he'd say, please do without the celery because he hates celery. But it's going to be cooked in here, so you won't know. The next thing that I'm going to put in, and this is not in the recipe, is I'm going to put in some hot sausage. If I were to serve egg rolls with no meat in it, my husband would throw a fit. You can put chicken in it. You can put sausage in it. I'm choosing to put sausage, and then in some of them, I'm actually going to be putting some shrimp. And I'll show you that when we get a little bit closer. My husband and I love shrimp in our egg rolls. So I'm gonna go ahead and brown this sausage, add it in, and then we'll show you how to roll some egg rolls. Okay, so I'm gonna brown this up. Got my pan going, it's warmed up nicely. So I'm gonna add this smokehouse sausage. I like to use the hot sausage because it adds just a little bit of extra flavor to whatever it is I'm cooking. This time I'm cooking the egg rolls. So I use the hot. My sausage is all browned. I've set it up, so I've got my colander and a paper plate. I'm gonna go ahead and dump that in there. There is actually not very much sausage grease in there, and that's one of the reasons why I like smokehouse sausage so much, is most of it's meat and you get very little grease from it. So I'll let that drain for a second, and then we'll add it to our coleslaw. Sausage all ready. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add some sausage into our egg roll mix, and then we've got to add a little bit more into here. We need to add 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, there's 1 and 2. We need to add 1/4 teaspoon of garlic salt. And a little bit of black pepper. Now, soy sauce is going to give some moisture to this to help steam those vegetables as they broil in the oven. One of the things is I do not like to deep fry my egg rolls for 2 reasons. 1, I can't stand the thought of all that grease and oil in my system. 2, when I'm teaching you guys how to do it, I can't stand the thought of having hot oil and a whole bunch of students. So I've come up with a different way that's a little less greasy and a whole lot safer. One of the things that I always teach my classes, before you start making egg rolls, have everything ready. I've got my filling ready, I've got my egg roll wraps. I need to get my starch ready. Now the starch is the glue that's going to hold this egg roll wrap together. So I'm going to do 1 tablespoon of starch, and then I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of water. And it needs to be a cold water. Starch is one of those really weird ingredients that if you tried to do hot water, it wouldn't melt, which makes absolutely no sense because you think hot, melt. But you want cold water to melt. And every once in a while, you'll see me as I'm doing this, I will just reach in with my finger and I will re-stir my starch water because the starch settles down to the bottom, and that's okay. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to do olive oil because it's a little bit more healthy, and I'm going to put that into a bowl, and that's what I am going to brush with my pastry brush. I'm going to brush that onto my egg rolls to help them get that nice crisp outside that I want. Okay, so I'm all ready to go. I'm going to be putting everything on the cookie sheet. I'm going to take a couple of egg roll wraps out, and I'll show you the first one away, and then I'll show you how to do it up close. Okay, I want to put my egg roll wrap on a diamond so that a point is pointing towards you and a point is pointing towards me. One of the things that you guys tend to do is you tend to fill your egg rolls way too full, and then they can't seal. We need them to seal so that when they go in the oven that they steam and cook those vegetables. Nothing here can't be eaten raw. My shrimp has already been cooked, my sausage has already been cooked, my vegetables can be eaten raw or cooked, but I want steamed in that egg roll. So I need to put enough in there that it fills my egg roll, but not so much that I can't seal it shut. All right, now at the beginning, I'm gonna fold the point that's towards me towards the other point. Then I'm gonna fold the two side points, and it almost looks like an envelope. Then I'm gonna take my finger with the cornstarch and I'm gonna glue these shut. That cornstarch and water is gonna act like a glue. Now up to this point, it's been an egg fold instead of an egg roll. Now we're gonna roll it. We're gonna take and we're gonna roll, and we roll and we roll. And then right before we get to the very, very end, we're gonna paint that egg roll wrap so that it will seal shut. And then we're gonna put that on there and wrap the next ones. Now that I've got all my egg rolls wrapped, I'm going to take my basting brush and I'm going to brush these with that olive oil, and I'm going to cook the first side and then I will brush them again with olive oil after I flip them over, and I'll cook the second side. I don't want them drowning in olive oil, but I definitely want everything covered on the top so that that will give it that nice crisp outside shell that I want. They're going to go into a broiling oven, and I'm going to watch them because they'll only be in there for a couple of minutes, and that will give them a nice brown outside. I'll flip them over, oil them, put them back in that broiling oven again, and we'll cook them on the other side. So they've been in the oven for about 3 to 4 minutes. I'm getting a nice, beautiful golden brown on them. So I need to work on the other side. So I'm gonna pull them out. So I'm gonna flip these over. Oh, that one came apart. And we will oil the second side and cook them up. It shouldn't take quite as long on this one to cook. I think we did about 3 or 4 minutes, probably about 4 minutes on the last one. It shouldn't take 4 minutes on this one. So we'll oil them. Got that one that broke open. I'm not real happy with that. This olive oil will make them nice and crispy on the outside. And we'll broil them a second time. Okay, I've got them nice and beautiful brown there. Let's go try them out. All right, so we've got them nice and crisp on the outside. I'm gonna go ahead and eat that broken one because it's just inviting me in. Some of them you saw had shrimp and others were just the filling. This one's a shrimp one. I love good egg rolls, and these are good egg rolls. Bon appetit.